My name is Yuta, and today my topic is on the minimum wage increase in California from $9 to $15 an hour. And increasing the minimum wage in California has been an issue for many recently. And those who support the idea are obviously wage earners that earn less than $15 an hour. And those who disagree with the idea are small businesses who say that they can't afford it. And by small businesses, I mean local restaurants, food service industry, convenience stores. And they say that it will hurt them financially and outright put them out of business. Today, however, I'll show you otherwise, which leads to my claim fact that raising the minimum wage will have positive effects on small businesses. And to support this, I'll show you that increasing the minimum wage has positive effects on employment. Increasing the minimum wage increases consumer spending. And lastly, increasing the minimum wage improves the productivity of workers. Back to my first supporting claim, that increasing minimum wage has positive effects on employment. Michael Reich and William Lester were economists at the Institute for Research and Labor and Employment. In 2014, they did a research on how minimum wage affects employment. And in this research, they found that increasing the federal minimum wage from $7.25 to $9.50 actually decreases the turnover rate of employees by 6.3% in teens and 6.6% in restaurant workers. And what this means is that employees are less likely to quit their jobs. And what that means is small businesses will save money by not having to train new employees. What the increase in the minimum wage will also increase the labor pool because higher skilled workers who are getting $15 an hour before the minimum wage increase and are getting the same wage after the minimum wage increase will likely quit their jobs, which means that they are added to the labor pool. And this makes it easier for small businesses to find higher skilled workers. And this also decreases the cost to train them because they're higher skilled. And because of these points, these affect small businesses positively in just a bit more. Now on to my secondary claim. Raising minimum wage will increase consumer spending. Low wage workers generally have a lower spending rate, or saving rate, I mean, because they have to spend most of their money on basic needs. This means that when the minimum wage increases, they are more than likely to spend their earnings. And what that means is more money back into the pockets of small businesses. Economic analysts Doug Hall and David Cooper wrote a research paper in 2013 about how minimum wage increases affects the economy. What they found was increasing the federal minimum wage from $7.25 to $10.10 results in a net increase in economic activity nationwide by $32.6 billion. This also supports what I just said earlier, that money goes back into the small businesses' pockets, and their profits won't be affected as much as they think they will be. Now, on to my third supporting claim, raising minimum wage improves the productivity of minimum wage workers. Increases in minimum wage gives small businesses more reason to demand better attendance and performance of the workers. And increases in minimum wage also motivates workers because the cost of losing their jobs is much more than it was before. Because of the increase in the labor pool, that creates competition, finding other minimum wage jobs. And economists Michael Reich and Peter Hall did a study in 2003 of the San Francisco airport and how their wages affected the finances and worker performance. And what they found was that 50% of the workers who reported, 50% of the workers that earned $2 per hour more, meaning who earned an increase of $2 an hour per more, 50% of those workers reported working harder after the increase in wages, and 38.7% reported no change, and 8.1% of them reported working less hard after the minimum wage increase. And the average score that employers reported about their workers' overall performance was a 3.4 out of 5. 1 meaning their performance got a lot worse, 5 meaning they got a lot better, and 3 meaning no change at all. This is a positive increase in overall worker performance, and which is therefore a positive effect on small businesses after the minimum wage increase. In conclusion, I've showed you that the increase in minimum wage will positively affect employment because of the decreased turnover rate and the increased labor pool. I've also showed you that the increased consuming power and spending will increase as well as a result of the minimum wage increase. And I've showed you that the minimum wage increase will improve overall performance of your workers. And hopefully I was able to convince you that the minimum wage increase has positive effects on small businesses. Thank you.
All right, Yuta, you've got clear identification of the proposition. You give us a little bit of context because of the California law that's been put into place. There's an excellent preview of what the supporting structure is. I think you could build up the controversy a little bit because we are faced with this both on the ballot and, of course, there are government positions that have been voted on, and there's been people demanding these kinds of things. I think you give it a little bit more context so we know why we have to have this argument. But it's pretty clearly organized. I thought that you signposted the supporting points in the speech pretty well. Again, transitions could be a little bit smoother. You explained the assumptions on some of the points. I'm not sure that you always prove those assumptions. You've got some good evidence on those points, but it seems to me that some of it is you're making some awfully big inferences off of the research data, and that'll be something for the respondent to be thinking about. One of the things that does help your credibility is that you're not just making the arguments yourself, but you consistently cite information as part of that argument as well. Like I said, I thought the supporting structure was easy to follow. That's good. On your evidence, you had a little bit of statistical data. Mostly it's based on the studies that you cited, and the expert testimony also provides some of that. I think you could use a little bit more information based on examples, and I did think that you cited all of your information pretty thoroughly, and usually you gave credibility to your sources by telling us who they were. And you did an effective job in presenting the argument as well. So thank you.